G-Talk. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we're recording, but we'll pretend we're not. Yeah, there's nothing going on today, so I think we should just leave. Bye. Have a nice day, everybody. Nothing to talk about, right?
I am following your lead, and I'm growing a little bit of a beard over here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't see any gray anywhere, kid. I don't. Well, this part will probably be in black and white, so everything will look gray, but I mean, come on, look at me. I mean, and then like people think this is look at this. These are grays, kid. My stupid ass. I don't know about you, but I'm showing my age, so I don't see it in you.
And I work very hard to camouflage that, you know.
Yeah, speaking of, I'm wearing camo again here. I don't know. It's like every day is battle day over here. It's like I'm battling life. I'm battling mental health. I'm battling politics. I'm battling everything. It's insane. It's crazy.
Battling headlines to discuss in here.
I mean, so welcome everybody. Yay! Welcome to the G-Talk. Yay!
Here we are.
Here we are. Okay, everybody. Welcome. Thanks, guys. And welcome to headlines. We're going to go right to it. I mean, we won't go right to it, but I mean, we're going straight to headlines. Just this is going to be a special G-Talk, and a very special G-Talk, where we talk about headlines and all the bullshit that's going on in the world right now that's making us have gray hair. I mean, it's insane. So we talked to Frankie earlier, and I said, kid, I was compiling all of these links for our next pod. And full disclosure, we're going to have some full pods we're going to post soon. I can't wait till you see some of them. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely I'm not even people episodes 8 and 9. You just wait, please. No one's watching this shit, but one day. So I then, full disclosure, I take the my iPad or my phone, and I go on Pages, and I start to which is an Apple knockoff Word doc. And I start putting links in there for stuff that we have to talk about, or we need to talk about. I got to like well into double digits, and I'm like, holy crap, we just need to do just nothing but headlines. And it's full disclosure too. It's June 13th, Friday the 3rd. Did you realize it's Friday the 13th?
No. Because when Trump is president, everything else fades.
Bro, every day is unlucky when you're in the Trump administration, right?
Yeah.
For God's sake, I just realized that.
Yeah. You know what I realized a little while ago?
What's that?
It's Father's Day weekend.
It is. Yay to the fathers.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not aware because of flipping Trump again.
Well,
this guy's taking over every freaking headline.
Well, do you know what tomorrow is? Other than Saturday? We're going to talk about it in a second.
Yeah, his stupid ass dictator parade.
Yes, the dictator parade. I think it's like Flag Day, 250th anniversary of the Army. We're going to talk about maybe not in this headlines, but in the next one or one of them. I don't know. We're my friends. We're going to break this up into like 3. We had to. It's like mega headlines, mega everything, mega maniacal, whatever. This is insane. And I have a prediction, Frankie. You ready? That no one's going to watch this. No, I'm joking. I have a prediction that, and I said it in the last pod. I'm being real. And this is how we're going to go right into headlines. The first one, that as of June 5th, people will look back at June 5th, a little over a week ago, when Elon Musk did his thing, right? The bromance broke up. We talked about it in episode 9, which will be posted someday in the next 50 years. And that June 5th will be the official ending. We'll track it all the way back to that day, the end of Trump. But let me qualify that, because I don't need the Secret Service to knock on my door. I'm going to say the end of Trump's power, his reign, and be it through impeachment, be it through the 25th Amendment, which oh my God, the Midas touch. Did you, I got to thank you for turning me on to the Midas touch. Did you see the thing I sent you about, you saw that where it's like, it's like, it sounds like a 1950s old video, like with the about dementia, frontal temporal lobe dementia. It was brilliant, but it was scary because it's true. Like they brought the receipts about him kerfuffling through words, the lean where they put the lean, how he leans forward. They literally brought the receipts, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's in trouble. And the 25th Amendment, they kept saying for Biden or for other people, or even for him in this first administration, the first 4 years, this is getting serious. I'm convinced now. I thought it was hyperbole, and I thought it was just liberal bullshit they did that to Biden. Now we're going to do that to Trump. Kid, I'm convinced there's some problems. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not a topic, but this is a subtopic. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's you just got to listen to him speak. It doesn't matter where. He just sounds so like not the president. He sounds like a patient at a nursing home, and that's really what he sounds like. Is really the bar is set so low for the president of the United States after Trump that it's just freaking embarrassing. That
Well, we're going to talk about a low bar for the president, and who I think another prediction who will be, and this is a perfect way to lead into our first headline. Who's going to be our technically our next president will be J.D. Vance, but because I predicted Trump won't make it. Secret Service. I don't mean that way. Again, let me go over the don't make it. He'll probably be impeached. He'll probably either be 25th Amendment. There might be a health issue, which I hope doesn't happen, or I'll leave a blank space there. And there's been a couple people trying to fill that blank space, and thankfully they failed. And hopefully nobody fills that blank space. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, sincerely. I'm not looking to have anyone be hurt or their life taken away from them. That being said, when you fuck with Iran and a lot of countries around the world, they've already said it's time to take out, you know what I mean? We're going to talk about that too in the headline. He's putting himself in a lot of peril. Thankfully, he's got a lot of brave men and women around him that are protecting him. But shit's about to hit the fan. I don't think he's going to make it through 4 years, kid. Before we go into the first headline, what do you think about that? 30-second respond. What do you got on that? You think Trump's going to make it through 4 years?
If he makes it through 4 years, we will make it through 4 years.
I mean, seriously? There's no way, right? And so the next president will probably be J.D. Vance, unfortunately. But I think the president after that is going to be this guy. So do you want to read, or do you want me to read, Frank? Do you want me to tee it up for you, or you want to tee it up for me? We got 8 minutes on this topic. Let's take our time.
I'll tee it up for you. And
Go
we're
for
going
it,
to start
kid.
with our very first headline, Trump versus Newsom. The resistance has a new commander. So the summary of the article is a legal fight over Trump's troops deployment into L.A. has escalated into a full-blown political war, and Gavin Newsom is now front and center, with Democrats quietly backing him and Trump aiming his full MAGA fury his way. Newsom's either rising as the resistance new commander or walking straight into a trap. Either way, this clash just turned national. Now, Ja, the question, is Trump accidentally building the very monster he's trying to slay, crowning Newsom as the face of a fired-up resistance? In other words, is Trump making Newsom out to be this monster because he's prepared to slay him, or is this going to backfire? What talk to me.
I mean, I'm as kerfuffled as you are. The time I got the time going. So let me say it this way. Whether Trump is creating a monster or not, I don't know. I don't know where your background went. Holy crap. That just changed. Oh, well, we'll fix it. We'll fix that another time. Your background just changed, or your thing just changed. Whether or not he's doing it intentionally, I don't know. I don't think he's that calculating. I almost said that smart. That's not the right way to say it. But here's what I'm going to say. Real quick. I have a theory. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. And it's kind of irrelevant now, but it's worth mentioning. I have a theory that the reason why there was the Democrats did what they did with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they didn't want to do a what do you call a primary for the next candidate, because if Gavin Newsom had gone against Kamala, he would have slayed her. There's no way she would have won the nomination. I think Gavin Newsom is a incredibly great politician. He's not perfect. No politician's perfect by design. They're politicians. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he is, let's just say, he looks the part. He sounds the part. He's from California, a governor. It's what, the 5th or 6th largest economy, or 4th in the whole world. So, I mean, that give you some receipts, right?
3rd or 4th, yeah.
3rd or 4th. Ask Ronald Reagan if you could manage California, if you could manage the country. And so I think it's a little bit different than if you're a senator from California and the attorney general. Sorry, Miss Harris, but you were okay. You weren't Gavin Newsom. And I have a theory that if he did run against Trump, he would be the president right now. But something about the Democrats, they weren't convinced on him, or they thought maybe he had some skeletons or whatever. I don't know. That being said, what's happening now is Frankie, if you go on Twitter, right, his government press office is putting some tweets that are slaying. I'm going to put them on the screen. Oh my God. You think Trump is slaying with his bullshit tweets and all that nonsense, where he's making the guitar and he's playing the piano and he's the Pope. Governor Newsom is slaying with his tweets. It's insane. He's doing exactly what the Democrats need him to do. He's going right up against Trump, and Trump is falling for it. You said it's a trap. Trump is falling. It's a trap. Trump is falling for the trap. And he's not going to run again. He's done, but he's destroying the Republican Party in many ways. And he's teeing this up for Gavin. What say you? Because I've got more to say, but I want to throw it back to you. What do you think about Gavin Newsom?
I like Gavin Newsom. I like him. I respect him. Just to reflect back on something you said to the effect of that he would probably beat Kamala in a primary. That may or may not be true. It's kind of hard to say. I think,
I'm pontificating.
I think Kamala just got in because Biden dropped out midway through the election season.
Right.
And Kamala immediately just stepped up as VP, which I think was the right thing to do. She had good ideas. She had good policies. She has a relationship with world leaders. I think overall she was a very, very good candidate. Especially, I think anybody's a good candidate if you're going to run against Trump. So I think Newsom, I think Kamala would have had her hands full with Newsom because
absolutely.
He just looks like someone that he's demonstrated that he's someone that actually cares for the country, not in it for the party, but in it for the prosperity of the country and its people. So if he would have won the primary, would Trump have won the election? I don't know. My thing is, Trump never won an election when he went against a man. He only won
correct
when he went against a woman, which is difficult to say, but it is a fact.
Let me ask you a question. What did you think, real quick, and I have a follow-up question. What did you think about Tim Walz as vice president? Be honest, real quick.
I did not dislike him. He was a coach at a high school, something to that effect. And
nobody knows. People say he faked it, but go on.
Yeah, I didn't dislike. I didn't know enough about him to dislike him or like him that much.
So you were just kind of mood on him. I think most of the country was too. That's the problem. You remember them floating Gavin Newsom's name for vice president? Do you remember that? It was up there. He was on a short list, and quickly he said no. Or it wasn't understood whether he said no or if they eliminated him. Do you don't remember that? It's there somehow. I'll put it on this screen real quick. This is why I say this. I think, and a typical just bad strategy, not just by Democrats, Republicans do this too. they thought, well, if Kamala's the president, you don't want someone that's going to outstage her and going to be stronger. So at the end of the day, um, we got to get someone who's kind of at her level, but below, so that he takes it backstage. And Gavin and her, they kind of would have too strong of a. I think that's bullshit. They should have picked the two best candidates, put them together. This president, vice president bullshit. We know who's in charge. They should have ran together, and they didn't. And Tim Walz, in my opinion, I was going to say hate. I don't hate. I hate. I don't hate. But I dislike to say it. I think he sucked as a vice president candidate. He was not the reason why they lost. It's more complicated than that. But I think Gavin Newsom is the real deal. And maybe it was written in the cards, because now we're seeing him go up against Trump face to face in something where he's winning, kid. Whether or not Fox News will admit it or not, who gives a shit? Everyone's seeing him go up against him, and he's winning, and he's putting up a fight. And eventually, when it's his time, and he's going to have a few years to run, they're going to beg him to run, and he's going to think, okay, and he'll win. He'll win. It's my take.
I think what's going on now in LA is I think it was provoked by Trump and the National Guard. And I think that the couple of burning cars over there are really being on repeat, because there's a couple of burning cars. I've seen more burning cars.
Oh my God. Every day.
So, I think it's just there is being portrayed, is exaggerated, being over portrayed as LA is on fire or something. I was watching Jimmy Kimmel, and he says the premiere of a Pixar's new movies across the streets, and everybody's there. It's a beautiful sunny day over here. It's like, don't take the 2 blocks of LA where this is happening and say this is the whole city, because that's misinterpretation. You're giving the idea to the country that
it's insane.
And the way he's labeling everything, and to say that he saved LA because he sent the National Guard. No, the National Guard escalated this. They shot rubber bullets at reporters. They trampled peaceful protesters with their hands up with their horses. They beat them with their nightsticks, unprovoked. And that's what they're showing, but is a bunch of bullies. I respect our armed forces. I respect our National Guard. But I think that Trump produced this in order to hide something else, which we'll talk about very soon.
It's gonna the next topic we're gonna talk right, and we could go right into it. And I'm gonna tee it up right back to you, because let me just go right into it. This is why we're doing this, because everything's leading one into the other. So let me just go right into it. We'll continue the conversation. It's the same fucking conversation. I mean, seriously, you ready? So headline: Liberate L.A. Silent descent, or silence descent, or whatever. Silent descent. Welcome to Trump's Law and Order Circus. Or Trump declared he would liberate Los Angeles from so-called third world lawlessness during a speech to U.S. troops deploying thousands of National Guardsmen and Marines to the city. By the way, the National Guard that are sleeping on the floor, have no food, are not getting benefit. Great job, kid. In an unprecedented show of domestic force. But things got even darker when DHS, this is insane, officials ejected, I'd say manhandled Senator Alex Padilla, the first Hispanic senator from California, from a press conference for simply trying to ask questions. Now, constitutional experts and critics are sounding the alarm. When a president sends in troops and silences elected officials, democratically elected officials, not just Democrats, are we still operating under democracy, or something far more dangerous? Main question here. You ready, Frankie? Here goes. I'm going to put up. Here's the Padilla thing, and then here's the other one. Is this what liberation looks like? Troops in the streets and senators getting kicked out for asking questions? Or are we watching Trump's America become the authoritarian state he claims to oppose? 8 minutes on the clock. Let's continue the conversation. Go. Same shit.
All right. So is this what liberation looks like? Does it look like? No, absolutely not. guys, like I said before, there were protesters that were trying to stand in the way of ICE peacefully. Nobody was throwing hands. Nobody was throwing anything. It was they had signs up, because they're going into graduations of kids to pick up parents. They're going to restaurants and businesses to pick up people that are either undocumented or working under immigration status. They're picking up people that are going to court for the immigration hearing, which is a process to become a citizen of the United States. They are going into the people that are chasing the American dream. They're not going after the violent gang members or all these violent people they said they were going to go after. They're going after our neighbors, our dear friends, our co-workers. My nephew's job. This just happened this morning. My nephew's job. I'm not going to say the company he works for, just in case we may get in trouble. But where he works, it's a national store. It's in every major city in this country. One of the biggest companies to work for. They do retail and stuff. Two of his closest friends from work were terminated yesterday from their employment because Donald Trump recently signed something that's going to revoke the potential citizenship or green cards or work permits to 5 or 6 different countries, which includes Cuba, Nicaragua, and a few others. I don't have it up here.
For God's sake.
As a result, they no longer, since their papers were revoked, they're not allowed to work here. In fact, they got to start looking to go back immediately. And they were both terminated. They worked the overnight shift at Walmart. My nephew got home this morning crying because he was surprised. He supported Trump. And I'm sorry to shout him out. I'm sorry to shout out anybody that's related to me that supported Trump. But he was very, very upset, crying, and he's 30 years old, crying at 7 o'clock this morning after his shift because two of his friends, he said, those were the hardest working people there. Those were like the go-to of the team to get stuff done because they got to get everything done by 7 a.m., similar to our previous jobs.
Right.
That was the deadline that had to be done before they opened those doors to the public. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, they had to let go because Trump revoked their potential work permits or permanent residencies.
Because they were criminals, right?
Uh,
Yeah, right. They're criminals. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
rapists and murderers and thieves, right? Isn't that what we're going after?
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, it's bullshit. And we're going to talk another headline. They all lead, Frankie, it's one big long conversation. We're going to talk about what we're going to find out. Actually, we're going to discover, if people haven't realized this already, what the immigrant population means to our economy, and essentially what taking them out, and the fact that Trump's already, the taco already chickened out, and he's already switching, right? Where he's like, well, we're going to get most of them, but the ones that work in a certain industry and another one, we're going to leave them because we kind of need them. It's like the most hypocritical. He just destroyed, but that's for another one. But let me just piggyback on this. I want to go back to the Alex Padilla thing. He's the senator from, very mild-mannered, by the way, very mild, like a beautiful man. Like I said it. He's like it sounds like the most beautiful man, like a really kind-hearted, like they love him in the Senate. Like from what I understand, he's a very beautiful man. And you hear him like, and he's a big man. He could have manhandled that jackass that he could have thrown him to the ground. I would have been freaking choked out, probably choked to death. I would have lost it. But he kept talking, and he's very mild-mannered. If it could happen to him, like he said in a presser, Frankie, it can happen to, imagine how they're treating the immigration raids. These are people, and listen, I'm going to say something that might be popular, unpopular. I don't know. I'm just going to say it. The truth is the truth, in my opinion. So help me God. I feel bad for these people, these ICE agents, the people that are trying to hold back the rioters and stuff like that. It's a difficult job. They need the money. That's what they signed up to do. They got to follow orders. In some cases, they're probably scared, and there's a lot of adrenaline going, and they don't know what to do. Some of these rioters probably have a look of death on their face, whether or not they're peaceful or not. They're angry and they're screaming. And, I'm not a big fan of saying they're peaceful rioters, because then, the ones that aren't, then you're like, well, see, they're not all. It's like they're people that are protesting. They're protesters. We don't have to say peaceful or angry or violent, because it's taken for granted the fact that if you're angry and violent, you're not a protester anymore, Frankie. You're a criminal. Call them criminals or protesters. No peaceful protest. None of this bullshit. They're protesters or they're criminals. And if they go and attack cops, they're violating the law. Because this bullshit starts becoming semantics on Fox News. Peaceful protesters. Well, look at this car over here. Look, it's blowing up. We're going to show it for the 14th time in a row, even though it's relegated to 1 square block or like 1 square mile. LA is like 500 square miles, like you said. It's insane. But what they did to Alex Padilla is bullshit. And what they're doing they arrested a judge. They've arrested a senator, like Gavin Newsom said. They've arrested a mayor. They're threatening to arrest a governor, they being this administration. This is what authoritarians do. And we're seeing it in our country. It's not hyperbole anymore, kid. It's happening. And to quote Gavin Newsom, or my words kind of, our biggest fears are here. It's happening.
Yeah, and it was all described in Project 2025.
It's all there.
Everybody thought it was bullshit, but I was like, you know what? At the minimum, they fucking disclosed it.
It's there.
They disclosed it, and more than half this country decided to vote for him anyway. It was like,
they didn't believe it was going to happen, even though it was like, hey, this is what we're going to do.
It seemed unreal, but when I saw the people that were behind it, putting all this together, and the team they had behind it, I said, you know what? I'm going to take this as a real threat. Who campaigns with this? You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Because he said, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. His name is mentioned there 367 times.
Ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all there. He's going to replace all the federal workers with Trump loyalists.
He's already starting to do with the troops.
With the troops. Look at judges now, senators is really, really. I don't know, bro. How do we get
scary.
Back?
It's scary, and this leads right into our next one. We'll talk more because I want to talk about liberating L.A., which is the most ridiculous stuff. Liberating them like they're under authoritarian rule. It's ridiculous. You want to tee up the third one? Is that you or is it me?
Let me take this one.
Go for it.
Because I'm freaking hot doing so,
it's insane.
And like we were just saying, states' rights. Each state has the right to request the National Guard at their discretion. But Trump sends troops to L.A. where he thinks is an emergency situation. And where is the conservative outrage? Trump's unilateral deployment of the National Guards and Marines into California over Governor Newsom's objections flies smack in the face of the GOP rhetoric, state sovereignty. Republicans who once championed local control are now eerily silent while federal power crashes over local authority. It's ideological whiplash when conservatives rally against DC power grabs but cheer when MAGA does it. So, my question is this GOP moment of silence proof that states' rights only matter when Democrats are in charge, or is this Trump rewriting conservative doctrine on the fly?
Thank you for that. I mean, it's a mouthful. Clock is ticking.
Oh no.
Personal privilege, just like I did with Dr. Jill Biden thing. Hey, MAGA and my Republican friends who are not MAGA, I don't think so. I think they're just conservatives that have an identity crisis. States don't have rights. They have powers. People have rights. And when they come together and run an entity, they are given the power by each other and by the populace. Okay. The states' rights bullshit needs to go away. fuck off. States don't have rights. People do. But so I just had to get that off my chest. States have powers, and people can take away power or give power to the states. In this case, how are you telling me that you're a conservative and you are for states' rights, states' powers, their ability to govern themselves from the unlawful overreach of the government, the federal government? They have the power to, govern regionally or locally. These people also want small government, whatever the hell that means. And it's like, okay, so you want small government, you want states' powers, states' rights, and you want to be able to, just kind of do your own thing. Then what the hell is this? What is going on in LA? What is this Liberate L.A.? What are you liberating? I mean, at the end of the day, and here's another personal privilege thing. I keep hearing my friends say 77 million people voted for this. Well, do you know we have 340 million people in this country? And I know only half of them are eligible voters, and not all of them voted. But 77 million is a very small portion of the population. So if you're going to only govern for that population, you're missing about 180 million, or is it 280 million? I think it's 280 million. Yeah, or 270. You're not governing for the whole populace. You need to stop. This is bullshit. There's a reason why we have a constitution. Read it. There's a reason why we have laws. Abide by them. And there's a reason why we have courts, by the way, which is a whole other thing. But I'm going to throw this back at you. This idea that, when Democrats are in power, and this is the truth, all of a sudden the national debt's a big deal. Government overreach is a big deal. States' rights, powers are a big deal. But now it's like, yeah, Orange Jesus, just do your thing. Yeah, we're going to keep doing our thing. We'll make money. We'll buy your crypto. We'll go to your fancy dinners. We'll hide that you're having a mental breakdown and that you can't, you don't know what day you talked to Gavin Newsom and whether or not you even talked to him at all. It's bullshit. So I'll throw this back on you. Take this from a non-democratic side, from a rational side. What are they doing? What are they doing?
From a rational side.
Yes.
From a rational side, this is the textbook definition of what's the word I'm looking for?
Of hypocrisy?
Yes, of hypocrisy. Because here they are. The states have, as you said, the power to declare a state of emergency in case of a natural disaster. If they're the victim of some kind of threat or attack, foreign or domestic, they get to call the National Guard based on those circumstances. If a half a mile over a city that's over 500 squared miles is having a little protest or a little resistance to agents that are trying to do their job. Okay, I could at least say that they're trying to do their job per orders that they are required to follow. And they met with resistance by the public, then that does not make it a crisis. There is some resistance towards what you're doing. Hypocrisy at its best. You could say that, hell is breaking loose in L.A. because like we said, there was, I think, 4 cars tops on fire. And you keep replaying it. So it looks like it's happening all day long. And in the same breath, you could say January 6th was a day of love. It was just
God.
Peaceful tourists. As if we did not see the 3-hour ass whooping those cops took. And for anybody over there in Congress, including Republicans, all ran for your freaking lives. That got in.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the textbook definition of hypocrisy. And if there was ever a need for the National Guard, it was on that freaking day. That went up 3 freaking hours.
Yeah, not a rubber bullet was shot. Sorry, Ashley Babbitt, and I'm not trying to bring your name into this, but yeah, you were shot for a reason, my lady. You made a stupid decision, and I'm not going to go there. But your family trying to get money from the government for a wrongful is ridiculous. I'm still shocked, and I'm glad it didn't happen. But I'm still shocked that more people didn't die that day, because if that was flipped around, kid, And that was Black Lives Matter protesters. I'll leave that there.
Yeah.
And people will give me shit for saying that. The truth is the truth, whether you say it or not. I don't have to say it. You know it. So
Yeah.
we're seeing how people are getting manhandled here. They were held with kid gloves in DC because they were all part of the protest that Trump wanted. But let me end this segment with or throw this back to you real quick. What do you think has to happen going forward here? I mean, if you can't remove the orange Jesus, you can't turn all these people that are in Congress to make them look at the Constitution, understand states' powers the way they're supposed to. What do you do? I mean, we're helpless. There's nothing else to do.
You know
Nothing.
what? Christ. And again, I'm really trying to organize my thoughts when we put these subjects together. These subjects, like we mentioned, we are um, taking them and speaking to them, and I really wish I could just organize my thoughts. But how do we get back from this? I don't know. Like you mentioned before, Newsom's media team is coming out with
Yeah.
tweets or social media posts that is slaying. Number one, discrediting anything that Trump has said thus far or anybody from the
Everything.
GOP. With receipts,
With receipts.
and I've always said, in every situation, there at the minimum has to be one adult to try to keep things rational. And clearly, the adult is not going to be the Republicans or Trump because we're talking about someone that said in a rally during his election period, would you rather get eaten by a shark or be electrocuted?
Oh, electrocuted
So
all day.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'd rather be elected. You mother. Anyway, so we clearly have to be the adults here. So as this is moving forward, I think, and I really, really mean this. I mean, we look like freaking idiots already. So might as well, like, you know what? Troll Trump all day long.
Yeah.
All day long, because he cannot take it. His fragile little ego cannot take it. Troll Trump all day long. I call him Taco Man, and that's going to be his nickname. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Trump always chickens out. Man, listen, and we're going to talk about a number of things. Speaking of his fragile ego, but it's one of those things, Frankie. And I'll leave it at this, and then we'll end it. The first part of this crazy headline section is over. This seems surreal to me. Like I was outside, not smoking a little cigarello because I don't do that anymore, ladies. That's bad. And I'm looking up at the stars thinking to myself, how the fuck did we get here? How do we get out of this? Am I in a dream or a nightmare? What is going on? And all I could say to myself is, no, that's real. It's true. And I'm hoping that as time passes, so too shall this.
I
But
have a
wait a minute.
theory.
This too shall pass? Whatever.
Coño, mano, I don't know about this one, bro.
Go for it.
Pero I have a little bit of a theory, and I think if I go through the time, I'm going to have to organize them and have it prepared for the next pod. So I
That's
could,
fine. We'll end on this, but let me just. I'll make a quick comment. You make a quick comment. We'll go and then we'll come back because we got some more. The next part is going to be cray because this is domestic terror that's happening from with the government leading. We're going to be talking about foreign terror, Israel, Iran. It's getting ridiculous. But here's what I'll say real quick. Just because this could be the worst thing that any of us have ever gone through as far as authoritarian, government overreach, blah, blah, blah. Listen, it's not 9/11. Thank God. We're not getting attacked on our soil here. Hopefully never again. But it's horrible. And it's something we need to get through. And we're not going to get through this by yelling and screaming at each other and punching each other and bringing senators to the ground or even funny tweets, whether or not it's from Gavin Newsom or not. We're going to get through this by listening and by accepting and talking and understanding we all have one common goal to ensure domestic tranquility for everyone here, whether or not they were born here or not. And laws will take, precedent and the courts will do their thing, but we as people need to be able to show love, feel love, and secure love, because when we lose that, we're fucked. I'll leave the last moment to you.
I have wrote an essay some time ago, and you mentioned, we don't want another 9/11. And in the last couple of weeks, I didn't know how to say it, but it's like we need another 9/11. I'm sorry to say it that
I
way.
know what you're saying. We're about to get something, I think, but unfortunately, but go on. You're saying we need an event that'll pull us together, is what you're saying. You don't mean that we need... Yeah.
The best thing that happened on 9/11, the best thing that happened was 9/12.
The next day,
and
right.
9/12, I saw this country united. That I never felt more proud to be an American and to stand with everybody from coast to coast. I grew up in New York, Washington Heights. That's Dominican land. Everybody had an American flag. Everybody had the flag that said "United We Stand." Every single car in New York had "United We Stand," and I never felt so proud. And how the hell did we go backwards from there when that was our moment to just stay that way forever, And
well,
now
listen,
we're here.
And now we're here. But listen, there's only two things you can do, and we'll end on this. There's only two things you can do when presented with any given situation, kid. I'll start it, you end it. You could either change your situation or
change your mind. It's been a minute that we did the G-Saw.
Okay, change your mentality
about the situation.
Your attitude towards it. I think we could do both. I'll leave you with that. And if we do both, we're going to be in a much better place. So we'll end on that. 5 seconds, kid, to you. That's the end of the first part. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I got to use the bathroom.
Of course you do. Of course you do. All right, peeps. We'll see you in the next part.
All right.
Talk soon.
Salud.